17-year-old babysitter, Sophia Martinez, thought she was walking into just another routine evening, watching the Hartwell children, but when she discovered hidden cameras in their bedrooms and overheard their stepmother Victoria making chilling phone calls about insurance policies and untraceable methods, she realized the family she had grown to love was in mortal danger. 3 weeks later, police would find the entire Hartwell family barricaded in their basement with Sophia, barely alive but breathing, having survived what investigators would later describe as one of the most calculated and cold-blooded family elimination attempts they had ever encountered. The quiet suburban neighborhood of Ridgemont, Colorado, would never be the same after that October evening in 2023. What started as a typical babysitting job for high school senior Sophia Martinez would transform into a desperate fight for survival that would expose the dark truth about the woman the Hartwell family had welcomed into their home with open arms. Just 18 months earlier, Marcus Hartwell thought he had found the perfect partner to help him raise his 2 children after his wife passed away from cancer 3 years prior. Victoria seemed caring, attentive, and genuinely invested in building a life with him and his children, 12-year-old Nathan and 8-year-old Grace. But behind her warm smile and maternal gestures lay a carefully constructed plan that would have destroyed everything Marcus held dear, if not for the sharp instincts and brave actions of their teenage babysitter. The Hartwell family lived in a beautiful 2-story home on Oakwood Drive, where Marcus worked as a successful software engineer for a major tech company. After losing his wife Rebecca to breast cancer, Marcus struggled to balance his demanding career with single parenthood. His children, Nathan and Grace, were still processing their grief when Victoria Chen entered their lives through a mutual friend at a charity event in early 2022. Victoria presented herself as a pediatric nurse who had recently moved to Colorado from California following her own personal tragedy. She claimed her previous husband had died in a car accident, leaving her searching for a fresh start. Her background in healthcare and her gentle manner with children made her seem like the perfect match for Marcus, who desperately wanted stability for his family. Sophia Martinez had been babysitting for the Hartwells since she was 15, even before Rebecca's diagnosis. She watched the family navigate their darkest period and felt protective of Nathan and Grace, who had become like younger siblings to her. When Victoria moved in permanently 6 months after meeting Marcus, Sophia noticed subtle changes in the household dynamics that made her uncomfortable, though she could not initially pinpoint exactly what felt wrong. Victoria was always polite to Sophia, even friendly, but there was something calculated about her interactions with the children when she thought no one was watching. She would make comments about their future inheritance, asking Nathan detailed questions about his father's work and income. Grace, being younger and more trusting, often shared information about family finances and insurance policies that Victoria seemed particularly interested in collecting. Marcus worked long hours and traveled frequently for business, which gave Victoria increasing control over household decisions and the children's daily routines. She began suggesting that Sophia's babysitting services were no longer necessary, arguing that the children were old enough to stay with her and that the family needed to save money. However, Nathan specifically requested that Sophia continue coming over, especially when his father was away on business trips. The children confided in Sophia that Victoria had been asking strange questions about their mother's death, wanting to know specific details about her final days and medical treatments. She also showed unusual interest in the children's medical histories, taking them to multiple doctor appointments for what she claimed were routine checkups, but often involved extensive blood work and psychological evaluations. Sophia noticed that Victoria had been gradually isolating the family from their extended relatives and friends. She discouraged visits from Rebecca's parents, claiming the children needed space to heal and move forward. She also suggested that Marcus limit contact with his co-workers outside of office hours, saying the family needed more private time together to bond as a unit. On the evening of October 15, 2023, Marcus left for a week-long business conference in Seattle, and Victoria reluctantly agreed to let Sophia babysit while she attended what she claimed was a mandatory nursing seminar. Sophia arrived at 6 o'clock in the evening to find Nathan and Grace unusually quiet and subdued. When Sophia asked about their day, Nathan mentioned that Victoria had given them both new vitamins that morning, saying the doctor recommended them for their growth and development. Grace complained that the vitamins made her stomach hurt and made her feel sleepy, but Victoria insisted they take them every day while their father was away. After Victoria left for her supposed seminar, Sophia helped the children with their homework and prepared dinner. While Nathan was showering and Grace was playing in her room, Sophia went to the kitchen to clean up and noticed a locked metal box on the counter that had not been there during her previous visits. Curiosity getting the better of her, she examined the box more closely and found a small key hidden underneath a nearby decorative bowl. Inside the box, Sophia discovered several vials of clear liquid with medical labels she did not recognize. Along with printed articles about untraceable poisons and their effects on children, there were also detailed notes written in Victoria's handwriting about the children's weights, meal schedules, and behavioral patterns. Most disturbing was a handwritten timeline that included dates, dosage calculations, and notes about symptoms to expect. Sophia's blood ran cold as she realized what she was looking at. The timeline indicated that Victoria had been slowly poisoning Nathan and Grace for weeks, gradually increasing dosages to make their eventual deaths appear natural. The notes mentioned plans to accelerate the process while Marcus was away, with a final dose scheduled for that very evening, disguised as their regular bedtime snacks. Fighting panic, Sophia quickly photographed the contents of the box with her phone and returned everything to its original position. She checked on the children and found Grace lying on her bed, looking pale and complaining of dizziness. Nathan also seemed lethargic and said he felt nauseous after his shower. Sophia immediately called the poison control center from the bathroom, describing the symptoms the children were experiencing. The operator advised her to get them to a hospital immediately and to bring samples of whatever they might have ingested. Sophia realized she needed to act quickly, but also needed evidence to prove what Victoria was doing. She searched Victoria's bedroom and found additional vials hidden in a shoebox in the closet, along with fake identification documents bearing different names and addresses. There were also insurance documents showing that Victoria had recently increased the life insurance policies on both children, with herself listed as the primary beneficiary. Most shocking was a series of photographs showing the children at various stages of illness over the past several weeks, with detailed notes about their declining health and behavioral changes. Victoria had been documenting the slow poisoning process, apparently for her own twisted satisfaction, or possibly as evidence to support insurance claims about their declining health. Sophia was photographing the evidence when she heard Victoria's car pulling into the driveway, nearly 2 hours earlier than expected. Panic coursed through her as she quickly returned the items to their hiding places and rushed downstairs to check on Nathan and Grace, both of whom were now vomiting and experiencing severe stomach cramps. Victoria entered the house with a concerned expression, asking about the children's condition and suggesting they might have eaten something bad at school. She offered to give them medication to help with their symptoms, reaching for a small bottle from her purse. Sophia recognized the bottle as similar to the ones she had found in the locked box. Without revealing what she had discovered, Sophia suggested taking the children to the emergency room, but Victoria firmly rejected the idea, insisting that hospital visits were expensive and unnecessary for simple stomach bugs. She became increasingly agitated when Sophia persisted, eventually revealing her true nature by demanding that Sophia leave immediately. When Sophia refused to abandon the children, Victoria's demeanor changed completely. The caring stepmother facade disappeared, replaced by cold calculation and barely controlled rage. She admitted that the children had been given medication to help them sleep permanently, claiming that Marcus would be better off without the financial burden of raising them alone. Victoria revealed that she had researched Marcus's financial situation thoroughly before pursuing their relationship. She knew about his substantial life insurance policies, his children's trust funds from their mother's estate, and his valuable technology patents. Her plan was to eliminate the children first, then Marcus upon his return from the business trip, making herself the sole heir to his considerable wealth. She explained that she had carefully chosen poisons that would mimic natural illness, allowing her to claim the children died from a rare genetic condition that their mother may have passed down to them. The insurance payouts would be substantial, and no one would suspect foul play from a grief-stricken stepmother who had tried desperately to save them. When Sophia threatened to call the police, Victoria produced a handgun from her purse, revealing that she had been prepared for the possibility of interference. She forced Sophia to help move the increasingly sick children to the basement, claiming she would kill all 3 of them immediately if Sophia did not cooperate. In the basement, Victoria had already prepared a makeshift prison, complete with locks on the outside of the door and no cell phone reception. She had been planning to stage the scene to make it appear that an intruder had broken in, killed the babysitter and children, and fled before Marcus returned from his trip. Locked in the basement with Nathan and Grace, who were becoming increasingly ill from the poison, Sophia knew she had only hours to save their lives and find a way to escape. She used her knowledge of the house's layout to search for anything that could help them break out or signal for help. The basement had an old coal chute that led to the outside, but it had been sealed years earlier during renovations. Using tools she found in Marcus's workshop area, Sophia spent hours quietly chipping away at the sealed entrance, while caring for the children and trying to keep them conscious. Meanwhile, Victoria was upstairs making phone calls to establish her alibi, telling people she was staying at a hotel near the seminar location. She planned to return the next morning and discover the tragic scene, playing the role of a devastated stepmother who had lost everything. Sophia managed to create a small opening in the coal chute and used her phone's flashlight to signal through the gap. A neighbor walking their dog noticed the unusual light pattern and came to investigate, hearing Sophia's calls for help from inside the basement. The neighbor immediately called 911, and police arrived within minutes. They found Victoria returning to the house with bags of cleaning supplies and tools she intended to use to stage the crime scene. When officers forced entry into the basement, they discovered Sophia performing basic first aid on Nathan and Grace, who were barely conscious but still breathing. Emergency medical teams rushed the children to the hospital, where doctors were able to identify the specific toxins in their systems and administer appropriate treatments. The quick medical intervention, combined with Sophia's photographs of the evidence, provided authorities with everything they needed to build a solid case against Victoria. During the investigation, police discovered that Victoria Chen was not her real name, and that she had been involved in similar schemes in California and Arizona. Her previous husband had not died in a car accident, but had actually survived an attempted poisoning and was cooperating with authorities in building cases against her in multiple states. Marcus returned immediately from his business trip to find his children recovering in the hospital, and his wife of 18 months under arrest for attempted murder. The investigation revealed that Victoria had stolen over $50,000 from the family's accounts and had forged documents to access the children's trust funds. 3 weeks after that terrifying night, the Hartwell family was beginning to heal both physically and emotionally. Nathan and Grace made full recoveries thanks to the quick medical intervention, though they required several weeks of treatment to fully eliminate the toxins from their systems. The experience brought the family closer together and helped them appreciate the people who truly cared about their well-being. Sophia's quick thinking and brave actions saved 3 lives that night. Her willingness to trust her instincts, even when she could not fully explain what felt wrong about Victoria's behavior, proved crucial in preventing a tragedy. The photographs she took of the evidence were instrumental in securing Victoria's conviction on multiple charges of attempted murder and fraud. Victoria was sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole, and investigators continue working with authorities in other states to identify additional victims of her schemes. The case highlighted the importance of background checks and the need to trust our instincts when something feels wrong about the people we allow into our lives. Marcus learned valuable lessons about protecting his family, while still remaining open to new relationships. He now takes a much more cautious approach to dating and ensures that anyone he considers introducing to his children undergoes thorough background verification. The family also established better communication channels, encouraging Nathan and Grace to speak up immediately if anyone makes them uncomfortable or asks inappropriate questions. The Hartwell family's experience serves as a powerful reminder that evil can wear a caring face, and that we must remain vigilant in protecting the most vulnerable members of our families. If you found this account compelling and want to hear more survival cases that offer important life lessons, please subscribe to True Crime Seat and share this video with anyone who might benefit from learning these crucial warning signs. Your engagement helps us continue bringing these important cases to light, potentially saving other families from similar betrayals.